Welcome to another reaction on Total Football. Final result at Anfield: Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Disappointing result. I thought it was a fantastic performance by Arsenal at Anfield. I'm looking back at our past fixtures before Arteta came. We used to get thrashed by Liverpool at Anfield, and you have to say that ever since Mikel Arteta has taken charge of Arsenal, we've been fantastic at the so-called big teams, especially away from home. Disappointing result, but a fantastic performance. And you have to say that the only way Liverpool were ever going to win that game was through a set piece, or a moment of luck or a moment of pure brilliance. And unfortunately for us, it was a moment of pure brilliance by Dominic Szoboszlai. A fantastic free kick, 32 yards out. I must say that that was completely unexpected. Disappointing, very disappointing. I thought that we were much the better team throughout the game, and I thought we controlled the tempo of the game. We didn't give them any opportunities. I honestly don't remember, Liverpool having any clear cut opportunities. But if you are champions of England, you find a way to win games, and Liverpool were not at their best today, but you have to give them credit that they were fantastic when it came to that free kick by Dominic Szoboszlai. It was a magnificent free kick, and you cannot be biased and say that they didn't deserve the goal. At the end of the day, goals win you games. You have to look at the performance by Arsenal at Old Trafford. At the first game of the season, we were the worst team on that day, and we won the game through a set piece. So you cannot go and say that Liverpool, were lucky. At the end of the day, they won the game, by a moment of brilliance. I don't think that Arsenal deserved to lose the game, but I also don't think that we deserve to win the game. I thought that we looked good in certain parts in the game. I thought Madueke had Kirkes absolutely on toast throughout the game, but we didn't really create much opportunities for us to say, what, we deserve the win, but we did deserve something from the game, and Liverpool did not deserve, nothing from the game either, so I think a draw would have been a fair result, but sometimes in these tight games, a moment of brilliance does, separate two teams. Um, Looking at the lineups, the three midfielders, Declan Rice, Zubamendi, and Merino, it was a bit of a shock not having any creativity in that midfield. No Eze, no Odegaard, no 180. You know, it looked as if Arteta was going to Anfield to go and play for a draw, and I thought that the game plan was actually working quite well. And I thought to myself, get to the 65th minute, get to the 70th minute, and bring on Eze and Odegaard for some creativity, and that's what happened. But unfortunately, a stupid foul by Zubamendi leading to the free kick that led to the goal being scored, in that free kick. Disappointing, but at the end of the day, we cannot go and complain and say that, it was a lucky goal or a lucky win by Liverpool. I thought they deserved the win purely because, they scored a free kick and they won the game, I honestly don't know what I'm saying, the one moment I'm saying they deserve the win, the one moment I'm saying they don't deserve the win. Look, goals win you games. At the end of the day, they scored a goal. We didn't, so in that sense, they deserve the win because they scored the goal, But if you look at the game as a whole, I do not think that either team deserved to lose or win, But looking at the lineups, disappointing, by Arteta to, field three holding or defensive minded midfielders, So disappointing. But the one thing I will say is that, you know, VAR is ruining football. You look at the foul by Eze, or the foul on Eze, in the penalty area, and he clearly pulls the shirt of Eze. He clearly pulls Eze's shirt, and you're looking at the game, between Manchester United yesterday and Burnley, the pull by the Burnley defender on Diallo, and the referee awards a penalty. A pull is a pull, whether you're falling after the pull or whether you're staying on the feet. A pull is a pull, it's a foul. I do not know why they weren't given. And the last minute as well, the blatant handball by Shabashloy doesn't even get looked at. So I'm not trying to blame officials, but there's such inconsistencies when it comes to VAR. It's killing the game. And these officiating or these decisions has been happening the entire weekend. Fulham versus Chelsea, Manchester United versus Burnley. It's just been so poor. At the end of the day, I cannot go and say, you know what, we lost because of the officials. I would just like to say that there has to be some consistency when it comes to the decision making, especially in the penalty area. You're looking at giving a foul to Manchester United yesterday for a pull, and yet today, nothing given against Arsenal. But at the end of the day, this is Anfield. And we know at Anfield, you do not get decisions unless you are playing for Liverpool. That's the disappointing thing about Anfield is that Liverpool are constantly getting decisions going for them. So disappointed, but I have to say it was a very, very good performance by Arsenal today. I thought that Madueke, fantastic. Mosquera coming on in the 5th minute for Saliba. It was a blow, for us. But Mosquera showed that we won't miss Saliba if he's going to be injured for quite a while. So um, there are some positives. Madueke, Mosquera, I thought that Declan Rice, sensational yet again today. I thought Martinelli, so poor yet again. We've been having this conversation for the past few seasons. Martinelli, he does not do enough as a left attacking winger. He does not do enough, whether it's a big game, whether it's a small game. No matter what the team is, he doesn't do enough for us to say, you know what, he's a top winger. We need top wingers playing for a top club, and that's why I do prefer Eze, and I really hope that Arteta will go and play Eze on the left and play Odegaard in the center. Um, I look at Arsenal as a whole, and the threat on the left hand side is so much worse compared to the threat on the right hand side. Speaking of the right hand side, Julian Timber, a special shout out to him, one of the best right backs in the league, most definitely. Ricardo Calafiori today held Salah down. No assists, no goals. Whoever captained him in fantasy this weekend, major, major, major blow. He was fantastic at holding Mo Salah down today. But you know what? I'm going to give a special shout out to Dominic Szoboszlai, an attacking midfielder or defensive man midfielder by trade. He has been moved to right back. And when you look at the options that Liverpool had, they had Joe Gomez, they had Conor Bradley on the bench, and yet they played a midfielder in that right back position. Second game in the week, or second game in a row that I've seen him at right back against tough opposition. Newcastle, Arsenal, tough opposition, and he's been sensational. You have to give credit to him. You have to give credit to Arne Slot for seeing his defensive capabilities and trusting him to go and do a job at right back. So um, you have to give props to Arne Slot and to Dominic, for playing that well. And you look at Liverpool's left back position. Kirk is nah. I do not think that he's at all better than Andy Robertson. That's just my personal opinion. Florian Wirtz, a 100 mil plus flop. He hasn't done a single thing since he's joined Liverpool. And for them to say that he's been one of the best signings this summer, nah, he's been one of the most expensive signings, yes, but I don't think that he's any better than Odegaard, is a Bruno Fernandes. Um, um, you look at number 10, James Madison. He isn't. I don't think he's as good as those players that I've mentioned. Even Morgan Gibbs White from Nottingham Forest is a better number 10 than Wirtz. I don't care if you've come from a different league. If you are being paid, 100 mil plus for a player, I don't care what league you come from. You have to show that you are worth that money. Jokere's first game, everyone slaughtered him for having a poor game. That's the pressure. If you are a big game player, if you are a big player, if you are a good player, and you've been paid so much to come from a different team, you have to perform at any level. So Florian Wirtz, 100 mil plus, flop. Anyway, unlucky today. Congratulations to Liverpool for winning, but the signs are there for Arsenal. The signs are there. They've played so well at Anfield, dominated You know, that was the quietest I've heard Anfield for a few seasons now. So if we can keep on, playing that way away, against big teams, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. But again, Liverpool being helped by VAR, no handball, no penalty, no surprise. Catch you later. Have a good one.